Touch on. Ron Filipkowski comes on with me every week. He's going to be joining us tomorrow. I just did the Piers Morgan show with Adam Mockler, who's a very intelligent young man, and I've been wanting to get this guy on for a really long time. His name is Fred Wellman with Meidas Touch. He's an Army combat veteran, of course, host of On Democracy Pod. Does such a great job. Fred, I really appreciate you joining me. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, good to connect with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Gosh, where do I even start with you, Fred? Let's start with what's going on in Texas. What do you make of the fact that it seems like MAGA Republicans always want to make it political when it comes to the wildfires in California or the fires in Hawaii? They want to blame Democrats for everything. But now I guess we're not allowed to criticize Donald Trump or Governor Abbott because we're making it political, right?
Yeah, funny how that works out, right? I mean, Donald Trump didn't waste any time blaming, Gavin Newsom for the fires in LA and everybody else. But if we even mention the fact that we have concerns about the way the warnings went out, the way the weather service been cut, the way they've historically not handled this situation, obviously we're making it political. And you know the story, right? It's like, oh, well, the old Republican story, like, it's too soon. It's too soon. Well, it's always too soon. I mean, it was too soon to talk about the murders of two legislators, and a husband, and wife in Minnesota. Never got talked about, right?
Yeah.
It seems like every time something happens, it's too soon, and then they're smart enough to know that the news cycle is going to move on, and we just never will talk about it. And I think I expressed some real fury this weekend over Mike Johnson talking about, well, we're as stunned as you are. All we can do is offer prayers. Like, no, actually, that's not your job. Your job is to investigate what happened and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Exactly. It's always thoughts and prayers. It's okay
Right.
if that's a pastor or the victims' families. But yeah, these people are lawmakers. We want action. I agree with you.
Right.
Am I wrong, Fred? I mean, it appears to me that most MAGA Republicans, certainly Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, they've been wanting to get rid of FEMA for a very long time. And you look at these
Right.
NOAA cuts, over
Right.
800 people lost their jobs. Are we supposed to be led to believe that that had nothing to do with this?
Exactly. I mean, what I've been getting a lot of too is, oh, well, the cuts to the national, NOAA and the National Weather Service, they don't occur until FY26. They cut 800 probationary employees of the national, the Weather Service and NOAA immediately back in February. And if you remember, everybody's again moved on. Probationary employees, the new people, these are the new scientists, these are the jobs they just filled. Then they offered the early retirements. So, for example, the weathering, one of the guys in charge of warnings in that region took the early retirement and has been replaced because there's also a hiring freeze. So there's a pile of things and look, I agree. It is kind of hard to make it political right now, but these once in a lifetime storms are happening a lot more often now, and there's going to be another one. I mean, we had a tornado. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. We had a tornado go through downtown St. Louis, just off of downtown St. Louis. It's never in our history hit that portion of the city. Once in a lifetime, so there's a whole lot of once in a lifetime stuff happening, and we just need to stop, putting it off, stop prayers, and start legislating, investigating, finding out where the money should go. So as they cut National Weather Service funding, we're now finding out what we need is more and not less.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. If you're just joining us, Fred Wellman with Meidas Touch. So, Fred, switching topics here to the Epstein list that apparently has just magically disappeared. I was talking about this, on Piers Morgan this morning with one of your colleagues, actually, Adam Mockler, who's great. And it's interesting because Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk on Fox News, and Haba does an interview and says, yeah, this list is going to come out. And now it just magically disappears. So is everybody in the Trump administration part of the deep state now, Fred?
Well, what they're offering you is we're monumentally fucking incompetent. We're monumentally incompetent or liar. I mean, the options they're choosing are let's go with incompetent. Obviously, what they're doing is it's a cover up. It's the most blatant and lame cover up in history, but this is what they do. They lie to your face and expect you to believe it. And that's exactly what this is. So obviously, there is a list. Okay, there's lots of lists. That didn't happen. The FBI found 1,700 photos on the walls. I mean, there's stuff. Okay, there's evidence. There's piles and piles of evidence. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, but I did see how the pictures, the video they showed of the Epstein cell was a different cell than one they issued where he died. So again, is it a cover up? It kind of, looks, smells, what's the old walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck, and in this case, they want us to believe they're monumentally incompetent or they've all been lying for years. I mean, look, remember, Bongino and Patel made a living out of the Epstein list, right? Bill Clinton's in there, release the list. Now all of a sudden, they're not as worried about Bill Clinton, is it? It's funny how that works out.
Fred, what do you think MAGA Republicans would say if Jeffrey Epstein was caught on audio calling Joe Biden his best friend?
Exactly. I mean, look, you could almost make a whole living out of what would you say if this is a Republican or a Democrat, right? I mean, I've stopped using that because it's just so effing obvious, you know. So these guys get your face. It's like, oh, you know, Texas. Back to what we started talking about is another example. They'd be 5 feet up to Biden's butt about this if it was him. But with
Right.
Trump, we got to move on. It's not important. Hell, yeah, he was playing golf. It's cool. You know, again, it is a situation where the constant hypocrisy and lies is almost hard to overcome and hard to deal with, but
Yeah.
you just got to see through it.
Agree. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Elon Musk because now he's apparently starting his own party, and the debate is he really going to do this 6 months from now? Is he serious about this? I take anybody serious when they have the money that Elon Musk has.
Yeah.
I wanted to get kind of your thoughts on this. Do you think he's serious about this, and do you think this is just a phase that'll just pass, or do you think he really is actually going to do this?
I mean, I swear to God, I think Elon Musk, you know, pictures next to the ADHD description in the I mean, the guy can't focus on anything for very long. So I don't know. I mean, the reason he left the government essentially in a lot of ways is because his shareholders said enough's enough. You know, you need to focus on your companies. Tesla stock is plunging. You know, SpaceX keeps blowing shit up. I mean, at some point, you know, you need to pay attention to your companies. Now he's starting a whole new third party. Again, you know, this is him having a tantrum and he's got a lot of money. But you're very right. A guy with billions of dollars throws a tantrum and we have to pay attention. What it means, I don't know. We historically third parties don't succeed in our country, but they've never been backed by the world's richest man who likes to throw money around like it's candy.
Yeah.
But what does it mean? Well, for those of us who are Democratic operatives like me, well, does that hurt us or does that hurt them? Any reasonable measure says it's going to hurt Republicans. So the evil political operative party was like, oh yeah, you should go for that. Matter of fact, you should run, you know, a lot of independent Republican candidates. You should totally do that. You know, it's funny. A lot of people thought the Democratic Party would split before the Republicans. I mean, believe it or not, my colleagues in the Lincoln Project, when I worked there, the theory was the Democrats would split like an AOC side of it and a Biden side of it. But instead, what we're seeing is this could very well be the first crack that we see of the Republican Party finally breaking from the MAGA allure. I mean, and look, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, and I swear to God, hopefully nobody's listening. You know, Musk is right. This is not Republican. You know, look, the MAGA movement is not Republican. It is not, and if it is, it's the old school Republican that's like, hey, the only move they've got is cut taxes. Like, oh my God, there's been a disaster. We should cut taxes. You know, this wouldn't happen if we cut more taxes. You know, it's the only move they've got is cut taxes, and
Right.
they've added to the debt trillions of dollars of debt because they've also been saying for 15 years the debt's going to destroy our country. So I agree with them, and it is hypocrisy to the tune. But in the more important way, it may be those first cracks where people say, "Hold up, you're saying we need less government, but you just added the debt to get." You know, it is an interesting dichotomy that'll be fun to watch in a lot of ways. Hopefully, it doesn't take down all of us. You know, that's sort of the thing with
Yeah.
MAGA, right? But you know, the operative party is like, "Oh yeah, you guys should definitely fight each other. That's great. Go for it."
Yeah, that's true. Fred, before I let you go, I do want to circle back to Texas real quickly here, if I
Yeah.
may. You know, it's interesting because we listened to Ted Cruz today in a press conference talk about empathy. And this is the same guy who went to Cancun when his entire state was in a state of emergency.
Right.
And then Greg Abbott, if you remember the day of that horrible Uvalde, Texas school massacre,
Yeah.
where he didn't cancel a campaign event where he was raising money. He was counting his money that night when they didn't even count all the bodies in that classroom. And these are the politicians that we should be listening to today, talking about thoughts and prayers. Fred, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And by the way, Donald Trump on the 4th of July, when there were still dozens of children that were unaccounted for, he was doing his stupid MAGA dance and forcefully kissing Melania on the cheek, which was awkward in itself. But I mean, what do you make of these people? How do you even, I can't
And
even.
any of those people talk about empathy is ridiculous. And them quoting Christianity is ridiculous. You know, I know what's in that Bible. I was raised a good Catholic here in St. Louis, Missouri. I know exactly what's in that Bible. And none of those people show it. Because look, your words don't matter to me, it's your actions. And your actions tell a different story. Now, I don't want Ted Cruz talking about empathy when he's the one like posing the pictures on the Rio Grande River of seeing people drown as they try to cross in our country for a better life. You know, these people show no more. Mike Johnson, you know, the hardcore Bible thumper himself, shows nothing. They just turned ICE into one of the largest militaries in the world is our own ICE now. Where more money, I saw a piece today, and of course, you know, memes. Who knows if it's true or not? But 12.8 billion towards affordable housing in America, but now 145 billion to a deportation machine. There is no empathy in these people. Calling something alligator Alcatraz and selling merch about people who are just seeking a better life being eaten by alligators is not empathy. So it's not even I take it with a bit of salt. I take it with the whole goddamn salt sea of all their hypocrisy and lies. There's no empathy. And that's really what's wrong with this country in a lot of ways. It's what's wrong with Elon Musk. It's what's wrong with Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. They've forgotten empathy. Look, if you can't rally yourself to care about children or refugees seeking better lives, if you can't think that healthcare should be given to those in need, then we don't have empathy. You just cut 17 million people off their healthcare, and you know it's evil because you timed it to only happen after the next election. All right, the tax cuts go in now, but the cuts to healthcare are after you get reelected. So spare me the tears and the crocodile lies when you talk about empathy, when you are going to force millions of people could potentially die. And that's before we talk about USAID, and we literally have people dying overseas from preventable diseases because Elon Musk doesn't like foreign aid. So all
Yeah.
these people are full of crap.
Very
And,
young.
and if we could find, and if caring about other humans makes me a libtard, go for it. And I'm
Yeah.
happily a libtard because I was raised again for some reason by an Italian and an Englishman, in a Catholic church that said we should care for others. We should
Yeah.
care for them. We should welcome refugees into our homes. I
Right.
served in Iraq. When I served in Iraq, I was welcomed to the homes of the Iraqis. Generous, lovely people. I ate more damn sheep and rice and chickens because we came there. We invaded their country, but they welcomed me and protected me when I was with them. So I tell you, I would feel safer right now in a house in Iraq than I would in anywhere near Ted Cruz. These crocodile tear fools.
I agree, and yeah, again, to note, you're a former Army Cap veteran. You're a hero, and I'm wondering how difficult it is for you and frustrating to cover a draft dodging coward who calls
Yeah.
people like you suckers and losers. The stuff he said about John McCain. I mean, it's frustrating for me to have to cover this guy. Somebody like you, who's a hero, who risked everything for this country. I can't imagine how frustrating that must be for you.
I would absolutely not call myself a hero. I did my duty. I was blessed to work with actual heroes and know a few who really are. But I did serve 22 years. I went downrange. I went to combat 4 times for this country. It is frustrating to see Trump. It is frustrating to see Pete Hegseth really just misuse the military as a symbol and as a prop instead of an actual what they're for. They're for defending our country. The idea they're sending 200 Marines to Florida to work with ICE is disgusting to me. At the same time they say we're all about war fighting, then why are you saying 200 Marines just hang out and drive ICE around? This is not about war fighting. This is about a machine that's going to use authoritarianism in our country. So it is very frustrating to me to watch Trump, Hegseth, VA Secretary Collins, who like to wrap themselves in the flag, but then they're rubbing themselves with it too, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. Fred, I love what you do. I've been following you for a long time. I love what the guys at Meidas Touch do. Ron Filipowski does my show every week.
I love
Adam
that guy.
Mockler. Ron's great. Adam did my show last week. We just did Pierce Morgan together. And I'm really happy to have you on, Fred, because I really love your work and I love what you do. Please keep it up. You've got a great podcast, and there's a reason why you guys are at the top right now as far as the podcast in America. So please keep doing what you're doing, and love to have you on again down the road, my friend. And I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Hey, you got my number. Give me a shout. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Fred. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. That's Fred Wellman, everybody. A very modest man. I would certainly call him a hero. He served this country honorably for decades. And host of the On Democracy Pod, a part of Meidas Touch, and he does just a wonderful job. So we really do appreciate him coming on. I'd love to have Fred on again down the road. He's a good man.